All right. Welcome everyone. Today we are here to tell you about the recent changes with our new UI. Shippo got an update and we want to tell you all about it. Today I have myself, Alex, and Amanda here to help you with all your shipping needs. Let's hear a little bit from your host. I'll go first. I'm Stephanie. I've been with Shippo for about 4 months now as a partner and implementation success manager. I help support our existing partners and help new clients get set up using Shippo. Alex, why don't you tell us a little bit about you?
Yeah, so I've been at Shippo for about 6 months now. I work on the customer success team as a customer success manager. I come from a background in shipping, but am definitely still learning everything. So webinars like this are fun and educational for me to help lead.
And I am Amanda. I've been with Shippo almost 5 years now, and I'm our product support manager. So I help keep the day-to-day running on our support team. When you chat in, phone in, email in, we are the ones that are answering all of your messages. I will also be answering any questions that pop up in chat today. So if you have a question throughout the webinar, click on the Q&A button and you can drop your question in there and I will be answering them throughout the webinar today.
All right, thanks ladies. So today we're going to give you a demo on some of the changes that that have been happening. I'm going to show you the flow on how to use our new experience. The good news is that we really only changed one section of our app, the orders page. Alex and I are going to go over creating an order. We're going to show you on how it takes way less clicks to create an order. Our batch labels, if you want to create multiple labels at one time, we're going to show you that the batch process there. International label creation, we're going to get into all things customs and help you out with that. Split orders, you can now create separate shipments from one single order. Return labels, we're going to give you 3 options on how you can create a return label and make it a lot easier for you. And automations, so we have some automations based on weight and items. So we're really excited to go over those topics with you. Please feel free, just like Amanda said, to ask any questions in our Q&A box. If your questions are a little bit more specific or need more time to answer, we'll definitely follow up with you via email. All right, so let's get started. We're going to spend most of our time demoing our orders new UI, which Alex is going to go over, but we also are going to make sure that you have everything set up. Alex, can you show us the new orders page and the best way to set up so we can utilize these new features?
Yes, definitely. All right, I'm just going to start sharing my screen as soon as you are done. All right, so everyone can see my screen. You can see that we are on our Shippo homepage when you log in. This is where you'll go. You'll see right here over here on the left is where your orders are. Everything pops up in here, and then you have shipments, which is just another place that you can create labels and get all your orders in there. And then you have analytics, settings, help center, analytics, where you can get your reporting. See, I don't have any there, but you can get your reporting, settings, where you set everything up. So let's just pop back over to the left here, the orders button. So you can see here, you have all of your orders. What do they all mean? The ones that have the little Shopify shopping cart next to them means they're the ones that were pushed in from your connected Shopify account or your other connected stores. And then if you scroll down, let's see. Oh, right here, we don't even have to scroll down. You see a little hippo next to your order with no order number. Those are the ones that you created manually while you were in your Shippo UI. And then you can also sort your orders by unfulfilled, fulfilled, and then any other filters you have, you can pop right in here. But this is just the whole viewing of everything. You can also see who your customer is, what items, if you chose to upload items into it, are going, the package info, the shipping info, as well as you can click on this little buy button and you'll have the option to buy, or if you've already purchased your label, you'll have the option to download it. And then you'll also be presented with the ability to hide it, explore other rates, or just download your packing slip. And then from there, we can pop over to the top of the page where you have your option to upload the CSV, create the label, or sync orders. So syncing orders would be if you are connected to a store and you just want to make sure you have the most up-to-date information from your store coming in. Uploading a CSV would be if you keep all your orders on a CSV file and then you upload them in to get all of the information you can see there. And then just create a label is simply the manual creation, kind of more of a one-off label creation. And then from there, we want to get everything set up just so we know exactly how we're shipping. So we're going to pop over here to the left to the settings section. And then I am going to start with stores because I want to show you guys just exactly how you connect your store. I am going to use Shopify as an example. So you would insert your Shopify link. I'm just going to grab mine and pop it right in there. Connect. Oh, well, usually that doesn't happen. So let's try it one more time. I think it might have been because of the space. All right, so now we are connected. Just go back to settings, stores, just to make sure, and you can see that Shopify is indeed connected and you have the ability to disconnect if you want to, which means it won't take away all of the orders that Shopify has already pushed into your account, but it will stop the orders from syncing any new ones that come in. So after we've already set up our Shopify account, we're connected, everything's pushing in, I'm gonna move down here to labels and packages because these are two settings that you wanna get set up before you start creating labels, and especially if you're gonna be utilizing the batch label feature, it's really helpful to have all of these defaults set up. So for example, for the labels, you can choose your default label and packing slip formats, and we have all different options here. We have the thermal label printer, different sizes, as well as just the 8.5 by 11 PDF standard printer. So I'm gonna set mine to that. And then you can also set your default service level. So since I am going to use the Shippo master account with USPS, I am going to keep it with USPS for outbound, USPS for inbound, and we'll just stick with priority. And then from there, you can save it. And then you also have the option at the bottom to auto create return labels for the outbound shipments. I am going to uncheck that for now because I want to be able to show you guys exactly how we create those return labels. So we're going to save that and then hop on down to packages. So from there, you can put in default weight and distances. And then we're going to go to package templates, which is where you can create the packages. If you have a standard packing format that you always use for different, for your different products that you're shipping out, you can create templates for those. So I'm just going to make a new one. And I'm going to make a little bit smaller square box than I was using before. And then I'm going to put my weight in because I think my heaviest item I ship out and I most likely ship or most often ship out is a 1 pound box. And I'm going to call this my coffee mug box because you'll see that we like to ship out a lot of coffee mugs here. So once you have that in, you can see that these are the defaults. I'm going to edit this one and not make it my default. I'm going to make my new one the default. So you go back into edit, set as default package template for label purchase. Save. So then we can hop back over to orders and move on to label creation. Let's see. All right.
All right. Thank you, Alex.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So we saw a couple questions come in. Feel free if on this topic you have any other questions. Amanda's here for you. We're excited just to answer any of your questions, make your life easier. But we know that it's, you know, still challenging just to go with change, but we're trying to make it a lot easier as possible. But we're excited to dive into creating an order. Okay, so one of our main focuses for our new UI is to make it just much easier for you to create an order. In our classic experience, we need to go through multiple steps to create an order. In this new UI, it is a one-stop shop. When you click on the order in the new UI, it takes you right to the order, and you can continue making changes as you go instead of having to restart. Alex is going to show us how to do this.
Yep. All right. So we are back onto my orders page, and I am just going to start with the most simple way to create one, which is the manual label. So you're on your orders page, you're going to hop over to the top right corner and click on create label. And from there, it'll take you to our shipping page where you can input the sender address as well as the recipient address. So I already have mine set up in there, but I'm going to add Steph as my next address. I'm gonna get a nice package from me. I'm gonna go here. And then we have it, check the address, check the zip code to make sure we're putting everything in right, save and continue. And from there, it should move into a page that gives you all the options for your packaging and your service levels. So let's go back and just try to reload that. Internet's a little slow over here because we are doing Zoom homeschool in the other room. So please bear with me, everyone. All right, so input Stephanie information again.
I can't wait to see what I'm getting.
Yeah. Supposed to be a surprise, but I guess I will show you today what you're getting because I want to show everyone how you can add items into your order. I apologize for the slowness to everybody.
Just while we wait, just a couple of things to note. It's not necessary for all carriers, but the phone number is pretty important to add in. Some carriers do require it, especially for international. If they ever need to get a hold of the recipient to handle any issues with customs, it's really important to make sure that you add the phone number. As much information as you can give, the easier it is, and carriers will appreciate that so much more.
I also wanted to hop into while we're waiting. I saw a question about unchecking the box for default imported weight. We do default to using the imported weight if you have weights being imported from your store. If you do not have weights being imported from your store and you have package templates set up, then we will default to the template weight. But for right now, it's not possible to set a default to have that unchecked, since most customers want to use their imported weights from their stores that are coming in.
All right. Thank you, ladies, for filling in those blanks. So let's just try one more time because it looked like it transferred the labels over, but I want to show the whole flow. So again, sender address, recipient, perfect. So this is the order details page I was hoping to get to. So here you can confirm the recipient of the address. Stephanie is going to get this in San Francisco. You can also add items if you want to add items. So Stephanie, I'll let the cat out of the bag. I am sending you a coffee mug.
Oh, the way to my
just
heart.
one of them. And it's about 1 pound. And it is coming from me here in the United States. Where's my mouse? Here we go, from the United States. And then it just has you add a value to it. Let's say $10. And then here, from there, you can hop down to package info. And it's automatically putting me at one of my favorites, which I call the square box. But I'm going to switch it actually back over to the coffee mug box. We don't need a box to be that big. So from there, you can save the package info. And then hop down to here where you can see add-ons, where you can add the shipment date. You can add a signature confirmation, shipment insurance. You can create the return label at the same time you create the actual label, or you can let the carrier know if the shipment contains alcohol. And then below that, it just confirms the sender address, which you will also use as your return address. So from there, you can go over to the left side where you're going to show the choose rate, and it's going to have all of the different options that our system pulls for you based on the package info. So right now it's looking like my best rates are going to be from USPS, and it's going to be either the cheapest, the fastest, or then you can get more. So from there, you can either choose buy, or you can simply click out of it if you're not quite ready to buy your label yet. So let's click out, but you can see that the whole order was transferred right onto our orders page. It has our date of order, it's got our customer, it's got the items, and it has the box that I chose as well. And then the button over here on the right is still green because I haven't purchased that label yet. And then from there, you can go down and you can either explore more rates if you need to look at the fastest or the other one again, and it'll take you back to your orders detail page, or you can actually click on this little arrow right underneath the rates column that will show you all the rates right there on the orders page, so you don't have to be clicking all around. So from there, the next order that we are going to do is or create a label for is going to be the Shopify account. So as you can see in here, if you scroll down a little bit, I'll just highlight it so we can see which one I'm talking about. You can see it's a Shopify order. It's got the order number. Oop, it took us back to the order page. It's got the order number. It has who it's going to. I'm sending this one to myself. It has the item in it, as well as the type of box I chose and the rates. And that comes in right away. So if we go, so that comes in right away, and it can automatically choose that for you if you go with the automations, or if we scroll down a little bit here and check out this order that also came in from Shopify, you can see that it has all the same information from Shopify: order number, recipient, items, but then you have the option to add your package right here on the orders page if you weren't quite ready to choose one. So you can click on that, add package, and then you'll have your option to do the weight as well as the box. So I'm gonna choose my coffee mug box again, and the weight is 1 pound. I'm gonna save it. And from there, it's going to give me the cheapest option, the best option. But if you need to change that, again, you click down on this little arrow, and it'll show you all of the different service levels. So from there, I think we are going to hop over to the batch labeling. Is that right, Stephanie?
It sure is.
Okay, let me stop sharing my screen so you can share again.
No worries. All right. So Alex, that was really helpful. I'm excited. I think it's so much easier now just to do everything on the one page. You don't have to leave. It just makes it so much easier, and I'm just really excited to get my coffee cup. So thank you for that. So what happens if business is booming and you're trying to keep up with the demand? Like what's the best way to go about that?
Yeah. So let me share my screen again.
And also just keep sending us your questions. Amanda is excited to answer them. I saw a couple come through, and so we're going to be talking a little bit more about creating orders, but more for we have multiple orders now. So if you have individual order questions, feel free to send it in our Q&A.
All right, are we back on my screen again? I think
sure
so.
Are.
All right, so batch labels. This is one of the features that I am personally most excited about because I just love the fact that it's going to make everything so quick and so easy. You can batch together 100 orders at a time, which is really, really nice. And it only takes about a few minutes to pull all of the rates and get everything purchased. So I think that's just so quick and so helpful. So from there, we are going to click the orders we want in our batch. So you have the option to click on just all of your orders, and it'll highlight everything in the row, and you can go to purchase or edit, which means you can edit All the packages, you can make them the same. See, we could switch them all to square boxes, the coffee mug boxes, or enter a new custom dimensions if we wanted to, as well as weights. And then we can also add additional services onto there. The additional services are, again, what you saw on that order page after you put in all your information, where you can add a signature confirmation, insurance, create the return labels for all of them, or just let the carrier know that all of your shipments contain alcohol. And then from there, you would click on this purchase label button, and you would have the ability to purchase the label. You would already have your credit card and billing information uploaded in there for other label purchase you have done, which would be, we'll just show you very quickly. To upload that, you go to account, settings, account, and then into billing, which is where you can add a credit card. And then you can automatically purchase all your labels with that. So the next thing you can do with the batch labeling is also just click ones you specifically want to fulfill. For example, pretend we only want to do these Shippo ones and they're all the same. They don't include alcohol. So those are just ones we want to do together. And again, you have the option to edit them or purchase the labels. And one of the really nice features is if you are doing a bunch of batching together to print them, and some of them don't have boxes because everyone, you can forget things and forget to put one in. It'll give you the option it'll tell you that you need to edit one of your orders, that it's not ready for purchase. So from there, you'll know which one you have to do, and you can go back, add your package in, save. It's going to pull up the rates. You can choose whichever one you want to. And from there, you would have the ability to purchase all three labels that you've chosen. And that is also where the filters button will come in handy as well, because you can search for, if you only want to batch together, specific orders you got on a date from a specific shop or shipping method. It'll help you just put everything together and make it super organized and quick. Let's see.
Really quick, just to hop in, something else I wanted to note, as we've gotten more people on the new experience, we've gotten questions around why rates may look like they're expired. So I just wanted to bring that up in here as well. Our rating system does expire rates every 7 days. That's a carrier restriction. So if you ever hop into your account and you see an error that the rates are not loaded, or that it's not able to pull rates, all you'll need to do is click on that package info section where that box comes back up again. And then you don't need to change anything if your dimensions or weight are correct. All you'll need to do is click the save button, and that will refresh all of the rates for your account.
Perfect. All right, let's move on. I think from batch, we got our batch orders. So I think let's move on to international label creation.
All right. And just if it wasn't said enough already, the default settings are just so important right now, especially with batch labels. Batch labels is so easy to use, but we want to make it so it saves you the most time as possible. So just make sure, from what Alex explained earlier in the demo, just really set up all the different settings for the default return address and the sender address, and just different package templates. It's really just a lifesaver if you have all of those settings ready to go. And just as Alex mentioned, we are going to go into international. We made things a lot easier for international, more defaults. It's pretty much the same exact thing as creating an order, with just a couple extra steps, and we want to make sure you know how to use it. And so let's take it away, Alex.
All right. Okay, so to do international labels, just as Stephanie said, it's the exact same as creating your normal domestic labels. You can do it through the create label button here manually at the top right corner on your orders page, or you can import international orders from your Shopify store. So I'm going to click on the Shopify order. Again, you can see it's a Shopify order by the little bag next to it with the order number. And it even tells you that it is going to a different country because we can see the German flag here instead of an American flag. So that helps you also keep it very organized, which is nice. So click on this order. It looks exactly the same as the other orders detail page. You have your recipient, you've got your rates, you have your items, as well as your package info, add-on, sender address. The only difference is this box right here that says customs declaration. And from there, you can either opt in or opt out of sending a customs declaration. And from there, you click here, opt in, opt out, save. I'm going to opt into a customs declaration. Just simply, I have all my items in there so the carrier will know exactly what it's doing, where it's going. So we'll save that. And then you also have the ability, sorry, save, meant to say opt in. Excuse me. So we're going to save that again where I've opted into the customs form. And then from there, you can click on the edit button and you get all of these different options to just create the custom details exactly how you want them. So you can change the type of content to be, documents, gifts, sample. It has the Incoterms, excuse me, can't talk this morning, as well as delivery handling, and then if you need a signature, who the signing person would be. And then from there, you can add any notes you need to on the customs form, and then you just have to certify the validity of everything you provided. So we'll save. And then again, you still have all of your information down here. You have your rates. I am going to choose the cheapest option. And then you either have the option to purchase if you're ready to purchase and you have your billing all set up, or you can simply exit and it goes right back to your orders page where it has all the information still set up, ready to go. And you can even include that in their batch purchasing of labels if you wanted to, since you've already figured out all of the customs information. So next we can go just do it again manually, because this is good practice to create manual orders, as well as make sure you have everything set up for international shipping. So put this one in. Germany in there. And there, you don't need a state. There. Save and continue. So here you can see that you need to add items as well as the customs declaration. You don't need to have items if you opt out of the customs, but if you are sending a customs declaration, you do need to make sure your items are in there. So again, just to be safe, I'm going to do a customs declaration. I'm going to add my items. I'm sending you another coffee cup all the way in Germany.
Thank you.
You are welcome. It's going to be about £1 and it's going to come from the United States. Value 10, 1. So you save that. And then package info, again, you can choose your coffee mug box, your square box, which are the two that you created in your default templates, or you can do a carrier provided parcel, which we didn't go over before, but again, it just goes through, you can see what carriers you have connected and what boxes you can get from them. So I am just going to do, we'll just do an irregular parcel. Save that. Again, you can go for your add-ons. And then you can go up here and see the rate that the Shippo system has pulled for you. And again, the option to buy or then back to your order page. And again, you can see that international order as well as your domestic orders. And then you can also see here under rates, there's a little bit of an error message. So this one, if you were trying to do your batch label purchasing, it would show you that there's an error and this is the one that you have to edit. I think we are ready to move on to split orders.
Perfect. All right. And I just want to make sure everyone has a minute to ask any questions about international. You know, it gets tricky sometimes. And just as Alex mentioned, you know, you can opt out if you don't want to add any items. And if it's not going to be an actual customs order, just make sure when you're creating the type, it'll default to merchandise, but there are other options available. So just make sure that you are selecting the correct one for that one. And feel free to send us questions in the Q&A. We're excited to answer them for you.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
go
Stephanie.
ahead, Amanda.
One other thing I wanted to hop in and say, the additional feature to opt out of the customs form, we wouldn't want to do that if we know a customs form is needed. The reasons why we put that in there, for example, are to people who are shipping to U.S. territories like Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, where customs forms are not needed. You can now opt out. The other reason for that would be if you're shipping to intra-EU places, because customs forms are not needed there either. So we would just rely on you to know if a customs form is needed, and if it's not. If there was an issue where you opted out of the customs form, but it was actually needed, that could cause a delay with your shipment. So just make sure you're only opting out of those if you know you truly don't need it.
Excellent point, Amanda. Thank you so much for jumping in. All right, so moving on to split orders. So Shippo has added the split order functionality to our new UI. So order splitting will now be available for all merchants who are connected to Shippo through Amazon, BigCommerce, Channel Advisor, Magento 2, and Shopify. If you're using a different partner, I apologize, we don't have that yet, but we are working really hard to make sure we have more available. So for splitting an order, when splitting an order, it's important to remember that the number of items in each shipment will need to equal the total number of items in the order. Alex will show you this on one of her items, but it's just like basic math, 1 + 1 = 2. We just have to make sure we're even out. So Alex, do you want to show us what that's going to look like?
Yes, I say this is one of my favorite features that I get asked about all the time. So I'm really excited to share it because, again, I just think it's so cool and so easy and going to make shipping better for everybody. So let's scroll down here if everyone can see my screen, which I think you can. I'm going to just use one order I created that has multiple items in it. I'm going to just click on it so everyone can see which one I'm working off of. And you can see here under the items column, it has 2 items. It tells us what's in there. We've got a Hippo coffee mug and reusable cold brew straws. So we've got 2 items in there. All you have to do to split the order is number 1, make sure your order has multiple items. You won't have this option. So that's a good way kind of to double check yourself if you think you forgot to put an item in there and you know you're supposed to be splitting it, but then you can't. So to do that, you would go click on the green button, which gives you all of the options of things that you would want to do with your label, explore more rates, download a packing slip, hide an order, which could just be helpful if you know you've already fulfilled that one and you want it out of your queue, you fulfilled it offline or something like that. That's a good way to hide it so you don't get mixed up. But then the last one that we're most interested in is the split order. And like Stephanie said, very basic, basic math, how many shipments, how many items, and then you can play around with it from there. So in this one, you can see shipment 1 has both the coffee mug and the cold brew straws. However, I don't want to send the cold brew straws all at once. So I am going to put it over here into shipment 2. So now Stephanie is going to receive each of these items separately. So from there, you save it. And then it gives you a nice little drop down here for shipment 1 of 2, shipment 2 of 2. Everything stays the same as far as the sender or the mailing address. And then it breaks up the items from each order. So for example, this one is nice and clean. It's just got 2 items, 2 orders. If you had a third item, you would, and you went 2 packages, 2 in one, and then 1 in the other, you would see the difference there. And then from there, you can choose the packaging as well as the rate information for each order. So for this one, we're gonna send it in the coffee mug box. Save. It's gonna pull up our rates here and it shows this one for us. But then if we wanna do something a little bit different, you click down again on that arrow and you can choose the different rates. And then for this one, since it's so small and it's gonna be so light, I am actually gonna use a USPS little flat rate envelope. I think it's gonna fit it perfectly, and it's definitely less than £1. So we'll save that. You can see I input my new one there. And again, it pulls up the rate for us. The cheapest and the fastest is the USPS Priority Mail 1 day. So that's our only option. So from there, again, you can batch those two labels together and purchase them at the same time, or you can purchase them separately. So from there, if you want to unsplit your orders, you decided you don't want to waste the packaging, you're just going to send it all at the same time, all at once, and pay the same amount of money, you click back into your green box. You're going to press on split order again. And then from there, again, it's the basic math of just how you want to do it. So I'm going to go 0 items in the to shipment, and then it gives me a nice red flag to make sure I know that I haven't chosen to ship all of my options and I don't forget about it. So again, I take everything out of shipment 2, put everything back into shipment 1, save it, and then you can see that it collapses back together and then gives me the new option to choose whatever type of box I want to. Go from there, and then it'll pull up all of your rates and same ones we've been seeing. And from there, you do explore, you can do explore with more rates, download a packing slip, hide an order, and split an order if you wanted to go back. I think that covers splitting orders. Stephanie, do you have anything to add?
No, that is a great summary. Thank you so much, Alex. Just excited to get all of my coffee gear.
Yeah, I say apparently you're just gonna be drinking a ton of coffee.
It's just what we're doing during quarantine. Perfect. So I'll give everyone just a 30 seconds to just catch up, ask any questions. We got some really good ones that came in, so thank you guys. Feel free to send multiple questions over. We want to make sure that we're covering everything. We know we can't be on here forever, but we're happy to take a little bit of time just to answer any questions. But we will go on to our return labels next, but I'm excited to go over this. Alex, miraculously, the coffee cup already made it over here during this demo, but unfortunately, there is a little bit of a crack in it, and I need to get it back to you. What's the best way for me to send it to you? What can I do?
Yes, give me 1 minute here. I'm having a brief technical difficulty.
No worries.
But, all right. I am ready to start sharing again. Oof. Okay. Sorry, everyone. We're back at it again. Okay. So like you said, the mug is cracked. I did not do a good job shipping it to you. I apologize wholeheartedly. So to create a return label, so we have a couple of different options. Sorry, again, technical difficulties. I cannot find my mouse. There we go. Okay, so there are a couple of different options. You can either create the return label when you're making your label. So we'll go back in and create just another label, another gift for Stephanie. Here we are. So we have all of our information. I'm going to use just our coffee mug box again. Super easy. And then the way to recreate the return label when you are making your label is just simply down here under the add-on section after you've already put in your recipient, your items if you want to, your package info to return the rates. You just click right down here, create return label, save, and then you have, it's going to bring back your rates. We'll click on the cheapest one because it's getting expensive. Send you all this stuff, Stephanie. You'll buy it with your credit card. That's all automatically uploaded into there, and it will take you back. And you would have the option to, I apologize because I didn't fully buy it, but if you did fully buy it, you would have on this drop down link, it would give you the option to download your label as well as download your return label at the same exact time. And then from there, we can do a return label through the settings center, which would be again going and setting up those defaults. So go into labels. We skipped over this last time because I wanted to be able to come back in and show everyone. So again, from your orders page, settings, down to labels where we created those defaults earlier, you can click down here at the bottom that says auto create return labels for outbound shipments. Save that. So that setting is saved. Back to orders, and then from here on out, all of the items that you purchase will be have a return label automatically created for them, where again you can download it under here in the where it will say download return label. I think, give me one moment here. Do we have any good questions coming in about return labels?
Not yet, not about return labels. I've had a few and just wanted to note this about editing items on a customs form. This has come up a few times now in questions. I know that it was available in the old experience and we're working on adding it into the new experience. If you are running into a problem with that, I wrote your names down so I can follow up with you via email right after the webinar is over. So you can be expecting an email from me once this is done.
Yes, and just to piggyback onto what Amanda said about following up after the webinar, I apologize that I don't have a credit card set up and I'm not able to show you the exact flow. So after the webinar, I will follow up with all of the attendees with just a detailed little description of how to make sure you are downloading those return labels and where you can see them after the label has been purchased. So I will definitely follow up with that because I apologize that I don't have it ready for the full flow here. So I think from there we can move on to automations, which is another one of my favorite things that we can do.
All right. No worries, Alex. Okay, so automations. This is fun. I'm new to learning about automations, and when I learned about it, it was just mind-blowing. Okay, so if we already didn't try to make it easy for you already, we're going to make it even easier now. So automations are made to make shipping just simple as can be. So what are automations? So automations give you the ability to set up rules based on your most used packaging or most shipped items that you can automatically choose the packaging and service level as soon as the order is pushed through to Shippo. Alex, can you show us what that looks like?
I would love to.
Thank you.
Like I said, I'm so excited about this. You can see this might be the biggest smile I've had all morning because I just love the automations. Okay, so hopping back into my screen share. All right, assuming everyone can see it. So here we are on the automations page. Let me just hop back a little bit so we can see how to get there. So we're just on our homepage of orders. Again, you're going to go down to settings, and then all the way down under configurations, you will put in automations. So basically what Stephanie said covered it perfectly, but to reiterate, automations are just another way to quickly fulfill or quickly get labels purchased, downloaded, and ready for shipping out. It basically takes whatever rule you have in place. Pretend I clearly love to ship coffee mugs, so I'm always shipping coffee mugs. So I would set up the rule that the condition, if an incoming order meets the following conditions, and you have the ability to do product name or order weight, but I'm going to do order weight since all of my coffee mugs that I have are 1 pound. That's going to be my condition. So an order that comes in that's 1 pound, and that can either be the manual or that's going to be from your connected account. So mine is going to come in from Shopify. Then you're going to apply the following action, and you can either choose rate, which is a coming up soon release, or so for right now we just have package. And I'm going to select my template, which is what we set up earlier over in the settings and packages section, and my template is going to be the coffee mug box. I'm going to just name it coffee mug rule, and you can add a description if you'd like to. But I think it's pretty straightforward for me. And then I just created the rule. And the really nice thing too is that you have this last modified, so you can see when it was last edited, if it was edited by you, if it was edited by someone else on your team, and just exactly when these rules went into place. So from there, it will be, it will not, unless you say process all existing orders, it will not change the orders that you already have set up on your page. This will just be for new orders pushed in through Shopify. However, if you want to have it set up for everything, just, you're shipping out a ton of coffee mugs, it's a pound, you can click here and it's gonna say automations processing, which means it's applying to everything. So it's completed. So let's just go back out into our orders page and see, we can see here all of these, or these two at least, orders. Or let's see here, this one that came in from Shopify, these orders have the coffee mug box applied to it. And if you just want to double check that your automation was applied, your rule was applied, you can click in the order and it'll show automation coffee mug rule applied. Click on details if you just want to see exactly what that rule was. And then that your automation was applied and that order is ready to purchase a label and ship out, and you can feel free to batch it together because it has exactly the packaging and the service level that you want. Let's see, I think I would say that's all I have on automations. It's a very straightforward way to set up just quick and efficient shipping for everything. Again, it's just under the automations, and you can create multiple rules, which is really nice for people who have bigger stores, lots of products going out. You can create multiple rules and it's just automatically going to get all of those scheduled and ready for purchasing.
Really quick, just to hop in there. If you do create multiple rules, they are going to work with each other. So you'll just want to make sure how you arrange them. For example, if you want the weight applied first and then the package template, or an item applied for which package template, just make sure you're ordering them the right way. We have a really great Help Center article that walks you through all of that. So you can search in our Help Center for that as well. Another area where the way that you create templates is accounted for is for your package templates. So if you create your package templates, the last one that you created is going to show up first when you are creating your order and selecting from that template drop down. So just one thing to note, if you want your most used one on top, you're going to want to create that one last.
Awesome. Thank you, Amanda. All right, Steph, I'm just throwing this back to you.
Thank you so much. All right. Okay. Good news. We did it. We got through it. We went through a lot. We thank you for bearing with us. We went over getting everything set up, to creating an order, learning about batch labels, international creation, split orders, return labels, and automations. And thank you so much for all of the automation love in our chat. That was pretty exciting. All right, so we are here. We're going to stay on for the next few minutes to answer any more questions that you may have. Please use the Q&A box available. Amanda is ready to help answer.
I am. There's none sitting in there right now. I've answered them all as they've been coming in. Lots of really great questions just around the imported weights, which we hit on that one. The one about customs declarations, I've had a couple on that, so those were answered. Customs can be kind of tricky. So if you have any questions on those, as you start doing international orders, let us know. Another one just came in right now. Is there a way to exclude price from the packing slips? Right now, there is not. That is a feature that we have gotten, or a feature request that we've gotten quite a bit. We've passed that feedback along to our product team, and we're trying to look into ways that this can be added into Shippo or updated. I know that people need those for if you're shipping gifts, for example, and you want to hide the prices on the packing slip. So it's something that we're looking into, but it's not a feature that we have right now. If there's any other questions, like Stephanie said, if you want to throw them in there, I'll just answer them live. But we'll be on for a few more minutes for any questions that come in. Alex has a lot of favorites. We learned.
I do have a lot of favorites. I love efficiency. Efficiency is one of my favorite things in the whole planet. I think everybody likes that. And so when I see efficient things, I just get so excited because I just know that life is about to be easier, especially now in all of these unprecedented times. I would say online shipping is crazier than ever. That's why I'm sure everybody's here at this webinar. So I just know that it's going to be easier. And in a time like this, we need something easy, I think.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think automations really help with that too. Like once you get those down, if you're processing a lot of orders all the time, it's going to make things so much faster for you since it will automatically pick up the templates for you and apply everything. So you can just go through and buy, making it super, super fast. Okay. I don't see any more questions coming in, but just wanted to throw out there that if you have any after the webinar is over, our support team is always ready to help. We are on emails from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific time. Chat and phones both start at 9 a.m. Pacific time, so you can get us through any of those by clicking on the support button within your Shippo dashboard. Oh, Catherine, you're welcome. Catherine said, thanks again, ladies. This was really helpful.
Thank you for coming, Catherine.
Enjoy the efficiency. Treat yourself to an easy day.
Oh, that sounds pretty wonderful. All right. Well, thank you, Alex. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. This does conclude our demo of our new UI. We're excited about this release, and we hope that all of our customers find these changes valuable. We do offer a bi-monthly service hours where you can hear from our experts about onboarding experience, implementation, how to get started with Shippo. Our goal with those service hours is to inform you as well as help our customers troubleshoot problems, provide tips and tricks to be successful with Shippo. We actually have our next one, which I believe is this Friday.
The 18th.
Perfect. So sign up if you want to join. Any little questions that you have, the team is available. And in case you miss anything, we're going to send you a recording of this demo. And just as Amanda said, please reach out to our support team. They love to hear from you about feedback, about just questions. If you're stuck on something, maybe there's a better alternative that you just don't know about, feel free to send us an email at support@goshippo.com. Thank you so much for attending, and we hope you have a wonderful day.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Thank you all.
For hosting.